What's going on, guys? Happy April. It's been about a month, so lots of updates on the tank. The biggest change to this tank is I got rid of the two Jabo PP15s and bought a max spec Gyre XF250, the newer one, which is this one over here. And I moved the 150 over here onto the overflow, and they are running opposed to each other using the new controller, which is pretty sweet. So the flow is increased, and instead of just sort of the gyre heading counterclockwise across the tank 24/7, now it goes back and forth. The torches have really responded well. This end of the tank was always a little dead for flow because directly below the gyre is sort of the spot where it gets the least amount of flow. And now with the two working opposite each other, like right now, it's going from left to right, and then it'll slow down, and then the other one comes on. It's pretty sweet. So I've been really happy with that. I haven't done a ton with the programming yet. The manual's not awesome, so I have to sort of take some time and figure that out, because I would love like a 24-hour program where, you know, starts slow, back and forth, and then at night, a nice gentle flow. So I just used one of the pre-programmed 24-hour cycles that they have available for now, and then I'll get into messing with it more. So right now it's really only going at maybe 10 or 20%. We can actually look on the controller. It tells you. Let's see if she'll focus. Right now it's at 30% in one direction, 20% in the other. Sorry, the camera doesn't want to focus down there. So I keep all the electronics down in there where they're protected. So that's the big change over here. Otherwise, the tank is doing great. Corals, fish, everybody, no real changes. Everything's going well. It really cleaned up this end of the tank too. Before there was the two Jabo pumps on this end, and now they're not there anymore, which is nice. So I'll just do a quick walk around of the tank from the end. When I first put the gyre on the tank, I was a little nervous. I didn't want to obstruct the far end of the peninsula. Like, that's the whole point of having a peninsula tank, is that it's viewable from three sides with no obstructed views. But I'll be honest, I almost don't even notice it when I'm looking at the tank. My eyes just sort of go to the fish and coral, and so it's never really been a problem for me, and it does a nice job of keeping the water moving towards the overflow, which was one of the problems I was experiencing originally when I first set up the tank. If you go back through my build threads, you'll see when I built this return manifold, it was originally because I was having a lot of surface scum building up at the far end of the tank. So it was the point of moving the return plumbing down to this end. So that's the big change here. The big change over here is this guy. So if you've been following my build thread, I've been talking about wanting to add a mangrove tank to the system. And so this is it. It's a Marine Land 27-gallon cube tank. I want to say it's like 18 inches by 20 inches or something like that. 18 inches front to back, 20 inches side to side. So it's actually not a cube. It's a little bit off of a cube. I built the stand. It's about 16 inches high, and then I just wrapped it in some barn wood that I had lying around and pallets, which sort of matches the room. There's the barn wood mantle from my parents' house. And the tank is plumbed right into the system. So there's an Eclipse, eShop's Eclipse overflow here. I put a waterproof box on that outlet so that just in case there were any drips or anything, there wouldn't be any problems. But all the plumbing runs right through the floor. There's 3 holes back there, and is plumbed directly into the system. So the return line is coming right from my return to the main tank. I actually had a T already built in that was shut off, so I just connected it. And then the drain lines just drain directly down into the sump downstairs. And then I put these ball valves on here so I could dial in to get the overflow silent, which it is. You can't hear almost anything. I actually just I did a water change, so it's still kind of getting the air out of the lines, both on this tank and the other tank. You can hear a little bit. So it's just here. I didn't have to add anything really, just kind of cut into my pipes. I took my 2 clownfish out of the big tank and stuck them in here just so there was something moving around. There's a couple snails and a conch. And I put this little green nephthya in here because it never looked great in the other tank, so I thought, well, maybe it'll do better over here. And the clownfish seem happier. They always sat in the top corner of the big tank. I don't know if it was too much flow or too many fish or what, but they were not happy. So I'm hoping they'll enjoy their space over here. And then I might always add another pair of clowns to the other tank too. I don't know. We'll see. The plan is to grow mangroves here in the windows. These windows face southwest, so they get afternoon sun. And maybe I might have to light it supplementally with like a grow light or something. But now that it's set up, I'm kind of torn between just doing like soft coral and stuff and just have it be a coral tank. Or I could do soft coral and mangroves. I don't know. I'm kind of up in the air about it right now, and I'm very interested in feedback, what people are thinking. For light, I'm lighting it with this little, I don't even know the brand. It's this little LED. It's waterproof. And I've just got it on a timer. It's plugged in underneath the tank. And it's really low profile. You can see it from here, obviously, but when you're looking at the tank from here, you can't see anything, but it does give the tank a little bit of blue light, and then there'll be natural light from the windows as it's almost 10 o'clock in the morning right now. So in the afternoon, there'll be natural light. And then if I decide to go coral, I might do something like a Kessel A160 or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. I'm really up in the air about it right now. I love having the tank set up. I just threw these 2 pieces of live rock in here just to, and it's actually it's man-made branch rock I got from the local fish store. And it's pretty sweet, but it sits right next to the couch. So I'm like sitting here enjoying this tank, and I'm right next to this tank. So I want to put some, maybe like a pistol shrimp and a goby or some little creatures, whatever, in there just to have. So now we've got the 2 tanks, which is sort of the big update. There's nothing changed downstairs except for running the plumbing, but I'm really enjoying the aesthetic of having the 2 tanks. I like how it balances the room. If you sort of step back, it is a big, one big vaulted ceiling living room. And there's a pug, and there's a pug. But the 2 tanks, I'm really enjoying sort of the balance of the 2. So that's the big update for April. And feel free to comment. Let me know what you think as far as the direction I should go with the new tank. Coral, mangroves and soft coral, fish. I'm really open to suggestions. I don't have a set plan, so I'm considering all options. So thanks for watching, guys.